So I just recorded a half an hour long video and there's no sound. My god. So it was totally rambly off the cuff video. So now trying to recreate that is going to be a challenge. But I'm going to try. So I'm in bed. It's currently after 12 p.m. and I am having my morning coffee, which I would usually have when I get up around 8 a.m. But it's taken me this long just to be able to have the capacity to make a coffee. So it's one of those days. So I wanted to talk to you about life with a chronic illness / illnesses, the reality of that, the reality of when you're having a really bad health patch, parenting through that, and all the things that I'm trying to take care of my health. And also just a little bit of ranting about the frustrations, because the frustrations are real. This shit is not fun. This shit is not for the faint of heart. It's a roller coaster ride. And you kind of just strap in and hope for the best. Hold on, video live. So, let's chat. So as you can see, I'm currently in bed. Something which I have not been able to do since the beginning of the school holidays, which was, God, I don't even know, time's an illusion through this time of year. Few weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks ago, that's a real guess. Several weeks. And just a little insight on my routine is usually I would try to spend at least one half day, if not full day, a week in bed resting, just as maintenance, because the kids would be away at kindy and school, so I would have the ability to do that, just go to bed and rest. And that is such a crucial part of maintaining a level of functioning and health that I can achieve. And obviously during the school holidays, that's just not possible. And also we're doing a lot with the kids. Our days are really active. It's summertime here, so it's just a time of a lot of activity and very little to no rest. So as a result, naturally, my health is fucked. My health is totally just screwed at the moment. I'm just in a mess. I wasn't in a great spot to begin with before the holidays. Really bad patch with migraines like almost every day. Thankfully that's eased. But insomnia as well. But yeah, it's now we're really in the weeds. Where do I want to start? Where do I want to restart? I guess I'll talk about what I'm trying at the moment, what I'm doing. Obviously, like I said, usually I'd be resting, but that's not really feasible. Though thankfully it is today, because I have a grandparent, not my grandparent, kid's grandparent, here at home helping me, watching the kids today. So that's really supportive and allows me to actually get some rest, because even, if it's just my partner looking after the kids, my 3-year-old is a real mummy's girl, and she does not like me being in bed, and she does not like me resting. She wants to constantly know what I'm up to, and she wants me up and about naturally, it's a lot more fun. And so I don't really get that time to rest. But when the grandparent is here, well, that's a little bit more interesting, so I do get away with rest, which is like so necessary. I've been flaring something fierce. The kind of thing with my days at the moment is I wake up in the morning, usually I've had a bad sleep, and I'm in excruciating pain, right, just from the word go in the morning, so I'm already in really bad pain, and then I have to try function through that throughout the day, and usually the day ends in total collapse, so I'll kind of weed my way through making dinner, and then I either collapse at the dinner table or after dinner. I'm having a lot of issues with standing and walking, severe pain. Last night my hands and my arms stopped working. That was a whole thing. It does happen relatively infrequently, but when it does happen, it's terrifying. I just literally can't use my arms, I can't use my hands, they're just effectively paralyzed, and it's quite terrifying and obviously really debilitating, and it sounds so over dramatic, it sounds ridiculous, I appear to be an able-bodied person, or I appear to be a blanket currently, but generally I appear able-bodied. You can't see my illness, you can't see my disability, it's invisible, and it's fluctuating, so it's really varied. But when I have those collapses, I literally can't walk, I can't move, I'm crying in pain, just total cognitive, just gone, and and then my arms stop working, it's like next level. I literally sat there last night, I'd really pushed through to make this beautiful meal, Impossible burgers and chips, so delicious, one of my favourite meals, and it's like a treat for us. I sat at the table and I just collapsed. I couldn't even hold my head up, I was just lying on the table, like head on the table, obviously not my whole body on the table. And my arms just ceased to work, and I just burst into tears, and I'm very honest and open and communicative and vulnerable with the kids. I will tell them what I'm feeling, I'll tell them what's going on, I tell them, reassure them, it's okay, it's not going to stay like this is just what's happening right now, I need to cry, I need to feel it, I'll be okay. And the kindness and the compassion that's built out of that just open, honest communication and vulnerability, it's just a beautiful thing to behold. I'm really in the midst of teaching, guiding my 3-year-old through emotions at the moment. She's a big feeler, very, very sensitive, just like me, just like I was at her age. And so I'm really guiding her through that. It's really challenging, but also really important and rewarding. And it's moments like last night where it's just like, oh my god, I'm really doing something right here. Because both the kids, were supportive, gave me a big hug. Little 3-year-old goes to the freezer, gets me a bag of haze because she knows, when I have a migraine or whatever, that's what I use. Brings that to me, checks in on me, gives me a back rub. She's just the most kind, supportive little being, and she's like, Mummy, you could eat your burger, maybe that will help. And I just had to explain, darling, I can't at the moment, my arms just aren't working. And she takes her tiny little hands around this massive burger, she holds it up for me and she says, I can hold it for you, Mama. I can help you eat it. And it's one of those moments, like, I'm retelling it with less emotion now because I literally just recorded this. But we're just like, oh my God, I'm both so grateful for this beautiful moment and this beautiful human being that I'm raising. And also just feel incredibly sad and incredibly guilty because it should be the other way around. She shouldn't be the one having to help me eat my dinner. It should be the reverse. But at the same time, it's healthy for your children to know that you're human too. You're not on a pedestal. You're not perfect. You're not infallible. You feel, you experience humanness. And to see the vulnerable side of you, in an age-appropriate way, like, obviously, but to be real in those moments. And sometimes you don't have a choice. You literally don't have a choice. Like, what am I going to do? I can't pretend that my arms are working. They're not working in that moment. So yeah, it was just beautiful and strange and tragic all at the same time. But I chose to focus on the beauty of that moment and the kindness and the compassion and the care that I put in to parenting being shown back towards me, and that just makes you feel like you're really doing something right. So yes, I managed to eat my dinner with the help of my 3-year-old, ridiculous sentence, and then got into bed with the help of my partner, and then 3-year-old continued to shower me in love and support, bringing me all her teddies to cuddle and telling me to rest. Rest is best, Mama. Rest is best. Which she gets from one of her shows that she watches. So yeah. And then she woke me up this morning demanding that I get out of bed immediately. So, it is what it is. But beautiful moments within the sadness and the suffering. Anyway, that was a little sidetrack just to explain how things kind of have been going recently, which is not well. In terms of health, I've really been struggling, but I'm lucky to have a really supportive family. Very fortunate for that. Yeah, on to what have I been trying? Everything, almost everything. So I have my regular massages. I get them weekly, and they're really wonderful. I definitely notice, if I've been sick, normal people sick, had a virus or something, and I can't go, or, the massage therapist has had to cancel for any reason. I really notice a big difference, both in my levels of stress and anxiety and also physical pain. The first day after I get a massage, there's usually quite a significant reduction in pain and muscle tension. Just really healing for me to be able to access those on a weekly basis. On top of that, I've also been lucky enough to receive some funded physiotherapy, which is new. I've never done physiotherapy for chronic health conditions before. New experience for me. Overall, it's helpful. It's, I'm given a few different exercises to do, which I do when I can, and I've been quite good at doing them. And, general education about my body and how things have a flow-on effect. There are some patronizing parts of it that I've had to kind of shut up and listen to. I think this is quite common just in general conversations with people and narrative around chronic illness and that sort of thing, but also with health professionals frequently are very patronising. They're doing their best, I think, but they don't really have a great understanding of the nuances of chronic illness. Like, for example, our last session, we spent 40 minutes-ish discussing circadian rhythms and sleep hygiene. I already do all that stuff. I already know all that stuff. I've done it. I've been doing it. I think sometimes there's this misunderstanding or this infantilization of chronically ill people that we're not doing anything, like basic stuff, to take care of ourselves, that we don't know the basic science of healthcare, of biology. Like, we know this stuff and we're doing it, and we do it every day, and we do it hard. Okay? But, they're just trying to be helpful. I know that. But yeah, I'm doing all the sleep hygiene stuff. I'm doing all the stuff to support my circadian rhythm. I'm doing all that stuff. Sleeping pills were really helpful for my insomnia, and I was really grateful to be able to access those. I tried a new one that I'd never tried before. It was actually a benzodiazepine that starts with T, I think, that I can't remember the name of for the life of me. But I was able to access that through a psychiatrist, because previously I would use Zopiclone, which I found really hard to access through the GP. Like, they probably do about a maximum of 3 nights in my experience for that, because it's so addictive. Obviously benzos are also highly addictive, but I've been so careful, and generally I am so careful with medications, all medications, to be honest with you, not just the highly addictive ones, but with using them very sparingly, very cautiously. So I have one of the benzos left, and they've really, really helped. And I've used them sparingly to get me through, and they've been really beneficial. I have a medical marijuana prescription also, that I kind of use on and off, that can also be very helpful. But with this last bout of insomnia, kind of nothing's touched it apart from the really intense sedating drugs, medications, whatever you want to call it. So I've been thankful for that. What else? I was also put on nortriptyline for migraine prevention, and I think it did help. I was doing a lot of things alongside that, but I think it did help, and I feel like it also boosted my mood. It was a very low dose. It was only like 10 milligrams or something like that, but I did have to stop it after a couple of weeks because the side effects were just so bad. So I couldn't continue with that. Thankfully, the migraines still have reduced frequency, which is great. I've still got extreme levels of neck pain, head pain, tension, headaches, just kind of constantly, but not the migraines, so that's awesome. The migraines have become infrequent again, so that's good. I also have the rizatriptan, I think it is, that I take on onset of a migraine. That can help. Also just doing the migraine protocol, which I can go into in depth in another video if that's useful. I don't know what I do when I have a migraine. But in terms of medication, that's what I've been trying. I've got your general ibuprofen, paracetamol on board, but it can occasionally take the edge off. But it doesn't do much to touch the pain. I've got tramadols left over from wisdom teeth surgery that, I hate to say it, I have used a couple of times for really severe period pain, actually, on top of my fibromyalgia pain, when I just really couldn't cope with the pain. I think I've used them literally twice, but I won't be getting a repeat of those. Obviously, that's a really strong opioid medication that should be used with extreme care. I will, however, at my doctor appointment next week, be asking for some more codeine, which I haven't had a script for in quite a while, but I need something more. I need that backup medication. Again, I'm really responsible with addictive drugs, and I use them, only in really, really severe pain when I really, really need that extra help. So I will be trying to ask for some more codeine, and also I'm going to ask about just like a daily medication. Like, I've heard some good things about gabapentin and I've never tried it, so I'm going to ask if my GP thinks that could be appropriate. I am always so hesitant to take medication, especially like on a daily ongoing basis. Like, I'm not so phased by like your PRNs that you just take as needed, but even those I'm cautious with just overusing. But like the ones that you have to take on a daily basis, I'm always so reluctant to do so. Not always, most of the time when I'm taking a daily medication, actually, yeah, maybe always, everyone that I've ever taken, the side effects are just so bad. They usually outweigh the good effects, and that's why I've never really stayed on anything long term. But I'm kind of in that place now where I just need to try. So I'm open to trying new things, new drugs that potentially could help. I don't know till I try it, right? And I need to just sometimes stay off of Google and stop reading all the side effects. Like, it's important to be educated, of course. You do want informed consent when you're taking a new medication, like with anything. But I'm getting to the point now where it's like, I actually just need to try things. Because if I psych myself out too much about the side effects, I won't try them. And then I'll never know if something can help me. So yes, I'm going to ask about gabapentin. Or anything similar along those lines. We'll see what my GP says. He's usually really good, so I'm hoping he can help me in this area. More lifestyle stuff. I'm trying to improve my sleep. Like I said, I do all the sleep hygiene shit. It's just that I deal with insomnia. But it hasn't been horrendous. Although I am having definite issues with my sleeping position, which I don't know how to change. I sleep in ways that just mess up my body. I've got a new pillow recently. I can't decide if it's doing anything. The first week seemed almost miraculous. I had like no neck pain when I woke up in the morning. And now it just seems to have gone back to normal. So I don't know what's going on there. I've got a really good supportive mattress. Yeah, I do all the things. I do all the sleep things. But anyway, the sleeping pills have been really helpful. And seem to have somewhat reset my ability to sleep, even if my sleep is not of great quality. Generally, with or without sleeping pills, especially without, but you can't take them forever, obviously. I'm making a real effort to drink a lot of fluid. I say fluid because I don't drink water. Well, technically I do, but I drink carbonated water with cordial in it. That's the best I can do. I can't do plain water, and I can't do flat water. They make me feel so ill. So I'm making a real good effort with that. My caffeine intake is very moderate. And my eating is better than it has been. It's still not great, but I've definitely improved it. And then exercise. Exercise is a complicated beast, right? Because again, it's one of those things where health professionals like to say, oh, fibromyalgia, or they also love to say this for like ME, CFS. Graduated exercise. Is that what they call it? Where they like, you work your way up to more and more exercise over time. That's the key. That's what you must do. You need to do. You need to do this. And my physiotherapist was also talking a lot about this. With like strength training kind of being a goal in the future. And I like that idea. I think it's probably beneficial if I can get there. I used to do it way back in the day. But currently I walk my dogs on a pretty regular basis. It's somewhat manageable. Sometimes it destroys me, but it's relatively, averagely okay. But sometimes it destroys me. Sometimes even just that destroys me. It's enough to push me over the edge into a flare, into a collapse, into excruciating levels of pain. And that's just from like regular, mild to moderate exercise in the form of walking. So when people tell you to do more, work your way up to more, do more exercise, I physically don't know how that's possible. And I ended up saying this to my physiotherapist at the last session, like, at the moment, everything that I'm doing, just daily life admin requirements, stuff, activities, taking care of children, etc., is maxing me out to the point where I'm like in a pretty bad flare and also just like collapsing on quite a regular basis. How am I supposed to do more? I think that's kind of ridiculous. A ridiculous expectation, and maybe when, the school holidays are over, maybe I can try doing more. But I think that right now it's insane and counterintuitive to expect me to be doing any more exercise. I'm maxed out as it is. So that's a frustrating thing that you come across relatively frequently, I think, if you have a chronic illness. And it's so nuanced. And it's not one size fits all. And you can't just prescribe exercise to people without a great level of understanding, with what they're going through and what they're already doing and their capacity to do more. Anyway, a little side rant. I am, for me, pretty active at the moment. Pretty active. So not a lot of room. Not a lot of room to do more there at this current time. What else am I trying? I'm in therapy, regular therapy, love therapy, big proponent of therapy, especially if you find an excellent therapist. It's great. Stress lowering, that's a classic one. Don't stress. Don't stress about stressing. It's bad for you. Stress is a part of life. It just is. And it is when you have health conditions, and it is when you have mental health conditions, and it is when you're just a person existing in society. Stress is a part of life. Accept it. It just is. Of course you can do things to try and help with it. But if you are stressing about having to lower your stress levels, it's ridiculous. It's not going to do anything to help you. But, I'm doing my best without without tipping over into obsession, health obsession, or stressing about health, because that doesn't help anyone. I'm kind of doing it all, and it's kind of a fucking full-time job, And it's a lot. And I think that's something that people without chronic illness just can't appreciate. Especially if you're in a really bad health patch, how much of your time and energy is dedicated to just managing your health, to just staying afloat, let alone trying to make improvements with your health. It is so much work. Oh my god. The appointments, the scheduling, the daily maintenance, the supplements, the medications, the all of it. Dear God, it's a lot. People don't understand. People who aren't going through it just don't get it, man. They just don't. And I need to fucking see more realness about this. It is hard. Believe me when I say, and I think I can speak for a lot of people who are dealing with chronic illness, this is like a full-time job. And we're putting so much work in. And we have every right to actually just like be proud of ourselves. Okay, and I don't think that's said enough. Be proud of what you're doing, even if it's not noticeable, even if you feel like you're treading water, even if you feel like you're running on the hamster wheel. And what is it all for? And you still flare, and you're still like, what the hell is going on? What am I doing wrong? Is this my forever? Try not to think about that because it's depressing and overwhelming. But just stopping and being like, actually, go me. Go me. Because I'm advocating for myself hard in every area of my life. And I have every right to be proud of that. And I am the opposite of lazy. And also, I deserve to be lazy. I deserve rest, if that's what you want to equate laziness to. It is self-protective. And I, for one, don't do enough of it. I don't. I think that's where I want to end this video. I'm sure I said a lot in the first video that I've left out of this one. It is what it is. If you've made it this far, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're going through it too, big love, big ups, and just fucking take a minute to cheer yourself on. You deserve it. Take whatever tiny joys, wins, moments of happiness that you can. Do as much of the things that you enjoy without guilt. Because you've got enough going on. Yeah. Take care of yourself. Take care of those around you. To whatever capacity you have. So much love. And I hope to see you in the next one. Which probably won't be from bed. See you guys.